At 11 a.m. on the morning of July the 25th, 1901, a blue-eyed, prematurely greying young Scot, 3 years out of Magdalen College, Oxford, stood on a pier at Hong Kong. From the German ship Bayern, which had just docked, a shy, boyish-looking man descended the gangplank. He stuttered badly and was dressed in the rich silk costume of a Chinese noble, with the ruby button of a mandarin of the highest rank on his hat. It was the first time a Chinese prince had ever set foot on British territory. Nevertheless, the reception, which had been held to a minimum at the request of the prince, went well. Within 15 minutes of his welcome by the young official, the prince was carried by 4 red-coated chair-bearers from the pier to the entrance to Government House, where he was greeted by the governor. This nobleman, who had preferred to receive none of the honours due him as a Manchu of the blood royal of China, was Prince Chun, and he was on his way to Germany to lay the humble regrets and apologies of his brother, the Emperor, before the Kaiser for the murder in Peking on June the 20th, 1900, of the German minister during the Boxer Rebellion. The young Scot who was at the pier to meet him was a British civil servant named Reginald Johnston. These 2 men were to have a profound influence on the events related in this autobiography, for one was to become the father of the author, and the other his tutor and intimate friend. Within the forces that led to this chance meeting are many of the strange, complex, and fantastic elements that have resulted in the author becoming 3 times an emperor, once a chief executive, an exile for 8 years, a prisoner for 14 years, a gardener, a scholar, a communist propagandist, a member of the People's National Congress. And the tale is yet to be completed, for the man still lives. He is Henry Pu Yis, the Last Manchu. The first Manchus were a pastoral people who lived in the woodlands of Manchuria near what is now the city of Mukden. Through centuries of unrecorded history, their strength increased to the point where their leader, Nurhaci, 1559 to 1626, while paying tribute to the Ming dynasty rulers of China in Peking, began secretly to prepare his tribe for the great deed of piercing the wall and conquering China itself. These preparations were continued by his son, Abahai, 1592 to 1643, who made his rear safe for the venture by subjugating Korea, a Ming protectorate, and completing the conquest of Inner Mongolia. When Abahai died in 1643, his brother Dorgon completed the great deed on behalf of his young nephew Shunqi. He conquered China, overthrew the ruling Ming dynasty, and made Shunqi emperor, not of China, for that term no longer existed except in the minds of the barbarians, foreigners, but of the great Qing country, Qing being the dynastic name adopted by these new rulers who were not Chinese but Manchus, people of Manchuria.